Hello and welcome to this week's weekly video. It's April and I want to talk a little bit about, again, those ups and downs that might happen as we're living the life of a writer. The ups are super exciting, the downs not so much, but they are part of it. And anytime something happens to us, we tend to tell a story to that experience. And I want to invite you to be really aware of when you might be telling a story or you might be trying to read someone's mind when really it's better to think about the facts or the evidence that we have in front of us. So I want to think a little bit about like sending your work out, right? And hoping that an agent might represent you or that might be picked up by a publication. When we do something like that, we don't always get feedback right away. So if you send something out and it's been a week or two or longer than that, right? Our brain decides that it wants to tell a story about what's happening. And it could tell a good story like, oh, they're reading it, right? They're taking their time. Or it could tell a not so good story like, well, clearly they passed, or clearly they haven't read it yet, or clearly I didn't get chosen, right? There's all these stories that we could pick. And the cool thing is we can pick from all the stories, right? Like we could pick something that's worst case scenario, but we also could pick something that's best case scenario. So it is kind of fun to like play with that. But at the same time, this invitation today is to really think about or acknowledge that we can't be mind readers. We don't truly know what is going on the other side of anything, right? So instead of pretending that we can be mind readers and picking stories, what if we just go back to the facts and the evidence that we have, right? I've sent this off. I'm waiting for information one way or another, right? Or I've written this and I've put it out into the world. I've written this and 5 people read it, right? So just think about the facts and work off of that as much as possible. Because again, we tend to come up with all these stories, especially us as writers, about what possibly could be happening when it's best if we can focus in on what's the evidence that we have, what do we know to be true, and using that to guide our feelings, guide our decisions, and again, not get too ahead of ourselves in one way or another. And this is part of living the life of a writer, a little bit of being okay with, I've sent it off or I'm waiting for someone to read it. I don't have feedback yet. What do I do while I'm waiting, right? What are things that you can do with your life? You could go read a book, right? Soak up some more good information that you could then put into your writing or continue writing. I talked last time about my agent who I had, who was a fraud. I was really grateful that once I was working with her and she had my work and I thought she was sending things out, I just kept writing. I told myself the only thing I can control right now is to continue writing. I'm going to let her do her thing, and that's how that goes, right? But I'm not going to wait right now to see what happens. I'm just going to keep focusing on what I can control and on myself, and that means I'm going to keep writing. And I'm grateful that I did that because in the end, she wasn't sending anything out and she wasn't doing her part. And that was really frustrating and heartbreaking. But at the same time, I knew like, okay, well, at least I kept going and I wasn't just waiting for something to happen. And then again, I tried really hard to not make it mean anything about me, and try to focus in on the evidence of what was true. This is, a constant practice of really focusing on what we can control, but also what is the information that we have and not making up stories about what it could mean. Believe me, I'm practicing this too. But again, this is part of living the life of a writer. And hopefully this invitation is helpful to you as you keep yourself going, keep yourself moving, and trust the process and enjoy the writing that we get to do. And yeah, just like make it the best you can make it and hopefully have fun doing it along the way. So I hope you're doing well, and I talk to you later.